Welcome back to our channel Teaching and Learning. In this channel, we mainly talk about business communication, English language, IELTS practice, and other academic skills related to our writing and reading. So welcome back to our channel and Teaching and Learning. My name is Chetra. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the very important aspect of our academic life and professional life, let's say. Whenever we want to join for a job, at that time we mainly need to submit the two things. One is the letter, application letter, job application letter. Another is resume. Some people often tend to categorize both of them into one, cover letter and resume. But today what we are going to learn over here is how to prepare the CV or resume. And there are people who also want to distinguish between resume, CV, curriculum vitae, and biodata. Don't worry about these things, but let's try to prepare a resume or CV today in this video, okay? So here, what we are going to do in this video is, first of all, let's start from is it better to start the job in the early age? And what do you think? It is good thing for your professional and personal life to start your profession or job a little bit early than required. Okay, so what do you think? Either there are benefits or not. Having the job in early of your life has benefits or not? What do you think in your personal opinions? So first of all, yes, obviously, starting job a little bit earlier in your life has many benefits. For example, once you start your job or any work a little bit early, then you will have the better time or sufficient time to develop your professionalism. If you start your job a little bit earlier, then you will enhance your professionalism. So some of you might be asking me while watching this video, hey, you were going to talk about CV or let's say resume, but what are you talking? Yes, whenever we think about resume, at that time some people, it is really linked or it is really associated with the job. So maybe this time you may not be thinking about job and something else, but I'm just trying to highlight how starting job little early in your professional life is beneficial for you. First one is professionalism. You can enhance and develop your professionalism, which is the most important thing for your entire professional life. So if you start now or if you start a little bit early, then you will have sufficient time to develop and to promote your professionalism. So why don't you try for the this resume writing, preparing resume. So another important thing that you will get, you will be benefited from just starting a little bit early the job or your professional career, that is the discipline, which is very important for everybody's life in professional life. So in one hand you will develop your professionalism because you will have a little bit early, you have applied a little bit earlier, so it will be beneficial for you. First one is professionalism. Second is the discipline. You will learn a lot of things about disciplines and you will get time and chance to train yourself towards how you can perform, how you can work in a disciplined manner. It also requires some sort of trainings and consciousness and coaching. And another important thing is obviously if you start a little bit early, then you will have lots of money, at least sufficient amount of money or wealth. Your condition will be better. And the next one, guess what may be the next one? Obviously you can maintain your health also, because you will have comparatively longer professional life, so that you can manage those things about your health, because once you start a little bit late for your profession, so you need to work hard day and night to train yourself for to to deal with those jobs and professions. And the last one is the love also. Your love towards your profession will be very strong, and there is a very strong impact towards your profession. So it is better to start a little bit early the job, the profession, so that you can make better performance. You can really enhance your potentialities and talent. Okay guys, if so, then let's start how to prepare resume. So in this video, what you are going to do is you are going to see, actually I'll prepare one resume also for the practical purpose. You can see that resume, how it develops, and you will know the different parts of resume structures, and the language that is used in resume, and some other tips how to prepare, how to draft a resume or CV or biodata for your job. So well, how many of you think that preparing CV or resume is a tough job? It's a difficult task. If you are thinking that way, or sometimes whenever you really want to prepare your resume, at that time you don't have that much clear-cut idea and you push yourself into confusion. If that is the case, I really want to assure you that after watching this video, you will say obviously that, oh, resume is not that much difficult job. I can handle the situation. So that way you can talk. So let's start. And here, before we prepare the resume, or at the time of preparing resume, what we need to understand is what the interviewer look for. The first issue or first question is what the interviewer look for. Because obviously this is very important, because we are preparing our resume for the interviewer, or let's say the people who really are going to hire us in the human resource departments, in the hiring committee, or whatever you say, selection committee. Okay, so we need to know what they are looking for, or what happens when they actually go through our resume. That is very important. And the second important thing that you need to know while preparing resume is the structure of resume. So what sort of structure, what are the parts, how do you organize the information in the resume? Either there are some titles or topics under which you mention the particular type of information about your personal information, about your academic qualification or experiences or hobbies or whatever. Okay, so the second point is the structure of resume. And the third one is you will also learn from this video, that is practical demonstration. I will prepare one resume. And the fourth important thing that you will understand over here is I will mention some of the tips how you can really prepare the professional and better resume, so that you will get a ring call. Hello, sir, Mr. You are in shortlisted, so would you come for the interview or something? So take it seriously, because the resume guides, or resume determines whether you will be in the shortlisted or not. On the basis of your resume, on the basis of the information mentioned in the resume, you will be selected or not for the shortlist or interview or written test, whatever type of test are there. So before starting the session, I would like to say that there is no specific formula. We cannot say that this is the exact or 100% structure or format of resume. So people can choose any. There is the flexibility regarding preparing the resume or curriculum vitae. But here in this video, what you are going to learn is something new that you have not learned till now, either in your schools and colleges. So I will give you some of the tips and some of the ideas on the basis of which you need not to follow all the ideas 100%, but you will get a kind of confidence, and at least you will learn some patterns through which you can make your resume better. Otherwise, any person can put the information in one page and prepare the resume. But there are some systems, some ways, some established trend which really indicate that you are preparing your resume a little bit professional than other people. Because this is the world of competition. If you really want to get the job, then you need to compete 10 of the people, 100 of the people, or among the thousands of people. So that this is very important. Here, what interviewer, let's start from number one of what interviewer look for. Most of the cases, there are many applicants for the job. Most of the cases, more than 90% cases, when you have the advertisements from the companies, big companies, and there are many applicants who really wants to apply and wants to get the job, so that they are submitted their they submit their the resume and biodata, whatever you say. And it is always recommended that please try to make your CV short, more accurate, complete, short, accurate, and complete. It should be something like your advertisements. It should have very essential but the truthful informations, and you cannot tell a lie over there. You cannot mention something which is not true to your life. So that try to make your resume short. Okay, that's the very important thing. Otherwise, there are imagine that there are 100 resumes, 100 applications for a particular job, and the vacancy is one. So whenever the interviewer checks your the resume, at that time he does not have a long time to go through your resume and to observe it with a detail and taking a long time. No, they will check your resume for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and on the basis of which what they perceive from your resume, you will be selected. So try to make it short, accurate, and a complete, maybe if possible, so that way you can make it. And when we say that short, complete, and accurate, at that time it is all about the structures. So let's move to the second point. Okay, so what is the structure of resume? And the structure of resume is there are mainly 3 or 4 categories, on the basis of which you can include or organize the information related to you, your academic qualification, job experience, whatever. Okay, so the first thing is about yourself. So you will put the name in the top. So look at, you can see this in the corner of this screen also. I'll show you those things in the screen also. So first thing is your name. Immediately after your name, what in the left side, okay, what you do is you will give your professional title. For example, professional title here refers to those words or phrases which really define you professionally. For example, you can write problem solver, innovator, mentor, quick learners, or sociable. And that way there are some words or phrases which actually define you professionally, what type of person you are. You are team worker, you are a problem solver, you are an innovator, you are a mentor, you are a quick learner, on the basis of which you will be defined professionally, what type of person you are. Okay, you can give that term, that the words or phrase to define yourself professionally. And sometimes many people make some sort of mistake by you are not problem solver, but you are quick learner. So at that time you think that okay, problem solver is looking by the company, or actually company is looking for the problem solver. So why shouldn't I write those things? No, you cannot write that way, because this is very important. Whatever qualities you have or who you are professionally, so that way you can define by using those words what type of personality you are. And one more important thing over here you need to understand is, for example, the way you define yourself professionally, and it should be supported from the other information. For example, your work experience and your academic qualifications, and sometimes your hobbies also. Okay, so that way you should define that you are a problem solver. you are a manager, you are a team worker, you are a quick learner. So that way also directly or indirectly you need to support that you are professionally fit for that title. That's very important. And after this, what we do is immediately after this there is another category at the right hand side. Here I have taken, but you can go whatever way you like, that's no problem. So contact information. So under contact information, what we need to put is email ID. Don't worry, I will give you the complete sketch or structure or template before ending this video, and you can notice all these things at that time also. So there is the section for the contact information. Under contact information, what you need to do is you need to put your email ID first. And when we put the email ID at that time also, we need to be very careful. Some people often make the email ID putting some sort of things which are not that which do not sound that much professional. For example, lovely Kiran @gmail.com, okay, Chhatriko Chhori @gmail.com, and Sano Keta @gmail.com. So that way, if you put your email ID, if your Gmail ID is something like that, so please do not put that Gmail ID on your CV, on your resume. Why don't you put your Gmail ID? For example, my name is Chetra. So what I can do is chetra.ts@gmail.com or chetra@gmail.com. Thimalsena@gmail.com. That way I can prepare my Gmail. I need to create one Gmail ID if I don't have that professional ID, because I'm applying for the job. So I need to reflect the professionalism through my Gmail ID also. That is very important. And don't worry about the very specific type of Gmail ID. Your name should be there, and after that is okay, no problem. And one more thing is, immediately after your Gmail ID, there should be in that section there should be the phone number, contact phone number. And more than that, sometimes it is also required to give the ID of some professional, some social related profile. For example, your LinkedIn, your academic profile. Sometimes if you have some blog and it is associated to that profession, then you can give the blog ID also, and that way also you can give. And if you are applying for the online job, at that time you can give the Instagrams and Twitter ID account also. That way also you can put that contact information section. So that way we do. And sometimes people look for the Skype ID also if the interview is going to be online. So at that time you need to put your Skype ID also. That way we can fill that area of contact related information. Immediately after that, what we are going to do is experience. Below that, the name sections, name and your job profile section, there is experience sections, experience related. So what you are going to do is, mainly you are going to check whenever you write for the experience. Let me see something over here. So what you are going to do in experience section of your resume is, first you mention the latest job, the current job, or the latest job experience that you have. So it goes in the reverse order. So what you are doing right now, or what did you do last time, just before this, okay? So you are going to mention the company or organization name, and after that your role and the time duration. Those three things you need to clearly specify whenever you write the job experience in your resume. So first one is the company's name, then your role, then your time duration, how long did you work. And while mentioning the role, your role in that company, your job, your role or your job title in that company, do not write it in a paragraph, in a long sentence phrase. Just mention try to make it as much as a statistical way. Why don't you put some figures or numbers, and sometimes the percentage also. Maybe sometimes you are you work as the librarian, okay? So at that time, why don't you mention how many students did you arrange through that librarian jobs? Maybe work as a librarian for 250 students in that college. Maybe that is the specific. So 250 students under your supervision, under your library supervision, under your job, that will be very effective. Maybe you can reflect sometimes to the percentage also, if there are other people also working in the same profession. So that way you can mention the name of the company and the role and the time duration, and it goes in the order, in the reverse order, from the latest to the oldest, from the newest to the oldest one. That way we need to mention all those things. And immediately after that, what we do is we put the education just below that. The experience sections, we need to write the education over there. And in education, again, many people love to put all the information related to your all these degrees. For example, if you have already completed your bachelor degree, then it is not necessary to mention all the information related to the degrees of school levels and higher school levels and so on. So why don't you put the bachelor's degree in that subject, and you mention the features below that, maybe CGPA, maybe percentage, and related other for example, if you did some sort of OJT or other thesis related things, you can mention those things. And at the bottom of those things, you also mention in one point the lower degrees, that how those degrees are also related and supportive to this profession. That way you need to do. Otherwise, it is not important to mention all the information related to the previous degrees. For example, I have done the bachelor, then I need not to mention all this information about +2 and SE, school living certificate, or school education examination, whatever we say, that is not important. So this is all about the education or academic qualification, whatever people often want to say. And these sections we have almost finished over here, and let's go to the this right side, and below that contact information we need to put the skills, one category where we organize all the features, all the information related to our skills, and it should be relevant to that job also. So what sort of skills we often mention? Skills may be different from job to job, because different job categories of job titles might require different skills. But generally what we need to reflect the skills, for example, communication skills, leadership skills, critical thinking skills, teamwork skills, IT related skills, computer software skills, hardware skills, and the knowledge of other technical skills also we can mention over here in that skill sections. And that way people can put the skills maybe 10 to 15, or some people often love to put into 5 to 10. It depends on the the command you have on that skills, and on the basis of priority basis, how directly related to that the job you are applying for, okay, the skills. And there are some common skills which are required from almost all the jobs. For example, communication skills, managerial skills, and computer operating skills, office package operating skills, and those skills, critical thinking, those skills are almost required by almost all type of jobs and the roles. So that way we put for the skill sections of the resume, and after that there is additional section, and there is additional sections of your CV or your resume. At that time what you often do is you put the awards. What sort of awards have you received? Okay, the awards that you have received. And one more thing is the publication you have done, maybe the articles, reports and books or journals, whatever you have published. That publication also comes under this additional skills. The awards and the volunteer work. Sometimes we have done volunteer works, and sometimes we often do the on-the-job trainings and so many other things. Those come under the additional sections. Additional sections also support to reflect to project you as a suitable candidate for their job. And you can mention some extracurricular activities also, and people love to mention some hobbies also over here. If your hobby is related towards that profession, obviously sometimes people forcefully make it, but do not do that way. Please mention the hobbies that you really love to do and which has the direct or indirect connection with that job. So that way we complete our sections, our parts of this resume preparation or CV or biodata, whatever you say. Nowadays resume is more popular. So in the beginning people used to say that resume is used in American styles of writing, and CV, curriculum vitae, is the British styles. Don't run for that way. Now even the British and American people do not go that much way, so it is not necessary to be that much specific whether I should apply for the British format or American format. Resume is more common nowadays, and many people love to prepare that way, and it looks more attractively also. Personally, if you ask me, okay, I prefer to do that one, and you can also do that one. Otherwise you can go for the you can check for the CV, which is a little bit different, but it's okay, the function is the same one. So that way we finish this resume writing, and this is a very important thing we need to understand over here. And let's move to the another important things. And one more important things I need to mention over here is you can find the template in Google Docs, Google Documents. Okay, that way you can find the template also. But in case of since you are starting to learn something, so why don't you prepare it on the Word, MS Word, so you can compose it, you can make your own, and this is not that much difficult, and it needs not require many technical skills. So why don't you open Microsoft Word and you type and you decorate over there? That is also possible. Or if you really want to get the template, and you will if you say that I will just change the information over there, but I really want to get the template, and if your desire is something like, there are many professional templates available in Google Docs and other Google websites also. And in this way we are almost at the end of the this video. So let's say something very important over here. So whenever we prepare the resume, at that time one thing we need to understand, we need to be very careful about it, whether you are experienced person or fresher. Sometimes people subconsciously or consciously they cheat the employer, or let's say the interviewer, that they say that I am experienced one, but in reality they don't have experience. So if you are fresher, don't say that I am experienced person, because even after telling lie, if you enter to the organization, it will create so many problems. And be sure that there are many organizations who give the opportunity to the fresher also. Fresher means who do not have any job experience before. If you are a fresher, don't worry, there are companies, there are organizations which really gives you trainings, and after that you will get the job also over there. And there are the levels, there are the posts which are offered for the fresher people, but you need to show your creativity, and you need to show your critical thinking abilities and so many other things. So if you are a fresher, please, in case of structure of the this one, the resume, you need to change a little bit. In the beginning, when I gave you this, just the structure of the resume, at that time I just said that there is name, after that experience, then education. But here, if you are a fresher, then what? You don't have any specific experience. You don't have experience, so you should go up. And there should be the, after your name and your professional title, there should be education, the category of education. So if you are the fresher, so why don't you give the detailed information about your education? Now this is the time you can mention all the information related to your education, your percentage, your CGPA, all these degrees and so many things, because you have not applied for the job before. But in the section of experience also you can mention something. For example, just the OJT, on the job trainings, and there are project works, and there are some volunteer works also, and there are some trainings which are related to that job, to that position. So you can mention all those things in experience, because you are the fresher, you don't have real experience. So those things you can mention. Sometimes, while doing your university education, university degree, at that time also the university assign you some sort of project work, some sort of research related things. At that time also you can learn lots of things. So those information also you can mention in the job trainings. So you can mention the volunteer work if you have done, and some profession, some study areas, they require the OJT, on the job trainings. For example, medical doctors and nurse, so they do, and engineers also do, and there are other profession also. For example, in case of teaching, education degree, at that time they go for the practical teaching. There is micro teaching and real teaching also. So that are the part of their degrees of their course. So those things can be mentioned over there. And if there are some trainings, you can mention over there also, because you are the fresher, you don't have any experience. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching me up to now. I hope you people have the idea about how to prepare the resume, and I'm pretty sure that this video has given you the experience, given you the confidence about how you actually develop your confidence and performance related to the how to prepare the resume. And here are, at last, as I have mentioned in number 4, I will give you some tips about how you can make your resume the professional. And before that, let's glance once the structure of the resume. Okay, this is the structure of the resume. And now, thank you very much. Now I want to give you some tips so that you can make your resume more professional, and there is a big chance of getting job. Okay, don't worry, people are waiting for you, because you have the capacity to promote yourself and the organization where you really want to apply. The first tip, or first important suggestion I really want to give you is, please try to make your resume single page. And many people say, single page? Oh yes, you should try your best to make your resume short, complete. It's something like the your advertisements. The basic information are there, which are catchy, which looks like very attractive, alarming for the person, so that one you will be selected for the interview, for the shortlisting candidate. So try to make it single page, and if you think that you have lots of information and which are almost impossible to keep into a single page, so why don't you go for the next page? But one more thing, whenever you write something in paragraph, and whenever you try to explain each and every minor details, at that time you may need not 2 pages, maybe 5 pages or 10 pages also for the CV. But if you try to choose, try to select for the particular words and phrases to indicate the whole information or concept, at that time, why don't you put it into bullet and try to make it short, try to put it into a single page. If not possible, 2 pages, not more than that. Then that's much one important thing you need to consider whenever you prepare for the resume. And the second point is, do not lie. Be honest. Honesty is the very important thing while preparing resume. So once if you mention some of the false information which are not true for your life and for your academics, for your experience, then there is a big risk of rejecting from that company forever. And nowadays there are the companies which are interconnected each others, and they circulate the mails or informations about you so that you will be unemployed all of your life. So it is not good idea to mention some of the false information. So try to make your CV or your resume very short and put only the authentic and correct information, no false information. Okay, second point. And the third one is always proofread before you finalize, before you finish your resume. Proofread. Once one of my friend has mentioned his cell number wrong in resume. Look at how grand mistake did he committed at that time. So check. Some people often make wrong spelling for their name, misspell, and sometimes we put the wrong cell phone number also. So that way, please go for the proofreading. Double check for the proofreading for your resume. That is very important. And the last one is it is feel confident and feel positive while preparing completing your resume. Thank you guys. So this way I have completed this how to prepare the resume for a job, how to prepare the biodata. Often people say that, and curriculum vitae. Do not go for the debate that there is a difference between biodata, CV and resume. This is what we are going to prepare over here for the job application. This is the resume. And I hope this video has given you the ideas and confidence also, so that you can really prepare the professional resume. And guys, if you have any friends or anyone who is really struggling and is in the pressure of how to develop, how to format a resume, please share this link. And one more thing is, I really want to welcome your comments. Please put the comments, write comments over there, and you can ask me some questions, what sort of videos you really want to watch, and you give me that suggestion also. Let's make it more interactive, and let's learn something from here. This is the platform. Thank you very much. Have a great time. Thank you.